Meanwhile, with unemployment numbers still high and the pandemic causing increased stress and anxiety these days, the threat of domestic violence is on the rise. And our Wendy Ryan is taking a closer look at this tonight. And Wendy, this is a real consequence of this pandemic.
It sure is, Paul. Calls to domestic violence hotlines are spiking, and police reports of domestic violence calls to homes also higher than normal. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so we want to share with you the warning signs and the help that's available right now.
We begin with breaking news out of Lakeland. 3 adults dead in a murder-suicide.
A developing story in Hernando County. Deputies are investigating what they say could be a murder-suicide.
Murder-suicides are all too common, often taking the lives of innocent victims.
Murder-suicides are 3/4 of the time committed by an intimate partner through a domestic violence relationship.
Laurie Anna Forsyth is the CEO of CASA. Community Action Stops Abuse.
Domestic violence really does boil down to power and control. The perpetrator wants to have control in the relationship and will use all sorts of tactics to achieve that control.
This power and control wheel gives a clear understanding of how quickly a relationship can become violent. It can start with isolating the survivor from friends and family, and then to threats, intimidation, emotional abuse, minimizing or blaming, economic abuse, even using children, with the abuse then escalating from there.
There will be one instance of violence, and then all they have to do is threaten in some sort of way that violence could be used again, and that controls the victim.
Forsyth says calls coming into CASA's 24-hour hotline have spiked since the pandemic began, with the month of August increasing by 41%.
So these are folks who are looking for advice on a safety plan, looking for resources to connect to, and our advocates are there 24/7 to help them with all of those questions.
Also on the rise, officers responding to domestic violence calls in some areas, like Pinellas County, with the threat of violence increasing since COVID-19 has forced many to isolate.
If there's a perpetrator who threatens to kill himself if you leave, that's a big fear for a lot of survivors. Nobody wants that responsibility, right? That is a very high lethality indicator that it could end up in a murder-suicide.
Forsyth recommends calling CASA's hotline so you can develop a safety plan. And along with CASA's free shelter, many services are available, including free legal guidance to help with a protection order, court costs, counseling, and more. So help is out there. You just need to make the call.
You're not alone. Domestic violence is incredibly prevalent, but you need to talk to somebody who understands domestic violence and can help you get through it.
Now, if you or someone you know needs help, call the statewide domestic violence hotline at 1-800-500-1119. We also have additional resources on our website, including the domestic violence shelter closest to you.